There's an argument some people make when they talk about God. They point to the suffering in the world and conclude either God is not all-loving, not all-powerful, not all-knowing, or simply not there. What I'm about to say is not necessarily what I believe. It is a way of exploring that argument from within its premise. At first glance, that claim feels strong because suffering is real. It is not abstract at all. Even a decent life still contains fear, humiliation, grief, illness, frustration, boredom, and loss. Some lives contain far worse than that. But the argument carries an assumption that often goes unexamined. It assumes that the human mind can judge the total meaning of suffering within a reality that, if God existed, would be governed by a being infinitely beyond the human mind. We already accept this limitation elsewhere. For example, when we talk about superintelligence, we admit that beyond a certain threshold, understanding breaks down. That point is often referred to as the singularity. So now imagine a mind that knows everything. Not a lot, everything. Every particle, every interaction, every consequence, across time. Paradoxically, something like Laplace's demon, a mind that could account for the entire state of reality at once. Not just more intelligent than us, but operating in ways we cannot fathom. If that gap exists, then our confidence in judging what such a mind would or would not allow collapses. An all-loving, all-knowing, all-powerful God would not be a scaled-up version of us. Our moral intuitions might still matter locally, but they stop functioning as reliable tools for universal judgment. And so the argument overreaches by taking a local human response and inflating it into a final claim about reality. In other words, the critique rests on a hidden anthropomorphism. It denies that God could be all-loving, all-knowing, and all-powerful because it imagines him as a human mind with infinite reach, then judges him by what a human in that position would do. That is not God. That is human judgment extended, not transcended. So the question shifts. Instead of saying that suffering proves God is absent or incomplete, we can ask what reality would have to be like for suffering to exist within a framework of perfect goodness without that goodness being falsified by our local experience. A child with braces experiences discomfort, inconvenience, and sometimes embarrassment. From that perspective, it can feel unnecessary or unfair. But the parent is operating with a longer horizon and a wider understanding of what the process serves. Far from me to minimize suffering or to reduce it to something as small as braces. The example is only there to point toward a possibility, not to measure the pain itself. If God exists and is all-loving, all-knowing, and all-powerful, and this is the world we are being made to live in, then what awaits us down the line would probably exceed what we can currently grasp. If this world is our braces, what will our smile be like?